Hi, and welcome to the Top 10s. I'm Ashley Bullington, your host, and thanks for joining in today. Baseball was invented in 1845 by Alexander J. Cartwright, and since then, 164 years later, it's America's pastime. Everyone loves to watch the game of baseball. And with opening day coming up, ballparks are going to be insane. Devout fans are going to be grilling, having fun, playing cornhole, especially down here in Texas. Just taking in the fact that their team is starting a new 162 game venture. And with that being said, today's top 10s are the top 10 MLB ballparks. Who has the best sights, sounds, fans, and food? Find out right here. All major league teams have pretty amazing venues. I know that it's on my bucket list to check them all out one day. But as voted on by the American people, ABC News, Bleacher Report, MLB.com, Fox Sports, and some other ones, these are your top 10s. Kauffman Stadium opened in 1972 and home of the Kansas City Royals. Kauffman was built in the 70s, right after the Royals were established in Kansas City in 1969. And unlike every other ballpark built in that decade, it's proven to be a keeper. Watch the sunset behind the 322-foot outfield fountain and waterfall, and you'll know you're in the right place. Even among the newer ballparks, it's hard to find a facility that is more family-friendly. That's especially the case when it comes to the things that distract and occupy the little fans. The Giant Crown is an especially nifty touch along with the gigantic HD scoreboard in center field, and the game entertainment was voted best in all sports in 2008. Citizen Bank Field, home of the Philadelphia Phillies, opened in 2004, has the Liberty Bell come to life after every home run. The Phillies Stadium is definitely one to see. Bowl-style seating, and the field is 23 feet below street level. The fans get to enjoy an awesome sightline of the park and the stunning skyline of Philly. You can watch both bullpens warming up at the same time in Ashburn Alley, where you can also eat Philly-type concessions and still catch the action of the game. Coming in at number 8 is Busch Stadium, home to your St. Louis Cardinals, and it was opened in 2006. There's not a much better game day environment than in St. Louis. The fans are voted some of the best in baseball, and they're super hospitable. You've got an abundance of red in the downtown area that's crawling with Cardinal fans. A ball game is a celebration in St. Louis. As for Busch, there's a handsome brick exterior, said to have the friendliest ushers ever, and the views of downtown, the ability to watch the game from the sidewalk outside, with the mix of old and new contemporary class of parks, makes this a great ballpark. Coors Field, opened in 1995, is home of the Colorado Rockies and has its own microbrewery. Coors Field has a vibrant downtown setting, a retro chic architecture, as well as from the seats you can see the breathtaking view of the Rockies, the mountains, not the team. One of the most beautifully built stadiums inside and out. Coors Field makes the top 10. Dodger Stadium is the third oldest ballpark in the MLB, opened in 1962 and carved into the side of a hill. Dodger Stadium is like an amphitheater with a 60 spin. Huge, yet cozy at the same time. The breathtaking backdrop with an amazing palm tree view. The weather is fantastic and the fans are great. You'll never know who or what you'll see at a Dodgers game. Camden Yards, home of the Baltimore Orioles, opened in 1992, and it was built to look like a classic ballpark instead of the new style ballparks that they have going on. It's now known as the first modern-day retro park. Camden Yard was built over an old railroad station and sits downtown next to Raven Stadium. In right field, there is the B&O warehouse sitting on Ottawa Street, the longest brick building on the East Coast. Ottawa has all the glory of Maryland packed into a sidewalk and where more than 60 home runs have landed. Camden Yards is a great place that fans need to experience and see. Now to our top 4, and these 4 were so hard to narrow down. There's either over 100 years of history in these ballparks, amazing fans, great venues, or just absolutely breathtaking sights to see. So these are your top 4 for the top 10 MLB ballparks. PNC Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates, opened in 2001. It is thought to have one of the best skyline views in sports, along with the best out-of-town scoreboard you'll see. The Robert Clemente Bridge over the Allegheny River is pretty awesome. It has beautiful architecture and an uncommonly intimate feel. All the seats are close to the pitch and angled pretty close to perfect. PNC is one fans love to visit. The Pirates made their first postseason debut since 1992 in 2013, and PNC was one of the most fan-friendly, berserk places on the map. Opened in 1912, 102 years old, Fenway, home of the Boston Red Sox, is at number 3. This is baseball's most famous, oldest venue, and one of the best places to take in a game. The obvious comparison is to Wrigley. This historic park has plenty of charm and some of the most iconic landmarks in sports. The Green Monster, Pesky's Pole, the Sitco sign, a brick facade on Yankee Way. There's plenty of character at the Fins, especially coming off the first World Series won on Fenway soil since 1918. Fenway is Boston, original and classic, like singing Sweet Caroline during the 8th inning. Celebrating 100 years of existence, opened in 1914, Wrigley Field, home of the Chicago Cubs, is the centerpiece of baseball's best neighborhood. This is where Harry Carey started the tradition of singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." There's an astonishing view of Lake Michigan from the upper deck. The ivy on the brick outfield was one of the game's iconic touches, and the giant manual scoreboard is simply classic baseball. Yes, Wrigley is old school, but taking in a game here is a timeless experience. From the bucket boys outside the park to the rumbling of the nearby L train, to the rooftop fans and kids congregating on Whalen Avenue, hoping for a home run, Wrigley provides the ultimate old school baseball vibe. Even though Wrigley Field and Fenway are over 100 years old, AT&T Park takes the number 1 spot. It was opened in 2000 and is home to the San Francisco Giants. It sits on the San Francisco Bay and is in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. The kayaks of Makogi Cove, the splash hits, close to action vibe, not a bad seat in the house, the giant Coke bottle, the giant glove, the blaring of the foghorn, the gorgeous exterior, and said to be some of the best ballpark food anywhere. AT&T Park in San Francisco is a true gem among ballparks. I want to go there. It's the perfect marriage of classical design and modern amenities. Quoted by a TripAdvisor traveler, even if you don't like baseball, you must take in a game here. I know I'm excited for the 2014 season. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of Top 10 MLB Ballparks. I'm Ashley Billington, and I'll see you next time.